Good afternoon, I'm Sean Yao, and this is One News Now. A Chinese Coast Guard ship blocked a Philippine patrol vessel in the West Philippine Sea over the last weekend. The Philippine Coast Guard reported that a CCG ship almost collided with the BRP Malapascua in the vicinity of the Ayungin or Second Thomas Shoal. Several radio challenges were also exchanged between the two countries' Coast Guards. BRP Malapascua Commanding Officer Rodel Hernandez said Beijing disregarded navigation safety just to prevent them from entering the shoal. And meanwhile, PCG spokesperson for WPS Commodore J. Tariela said the incident is the latest proof of China's continued defiance of international law. The PCG has already submitted a report to the National Task Force West Philippine Sea about the incident.
Dangerous maneuver yun ang tawag namin, no? Without due regard sa safety ng navigation, sa harassment na ginagawa ng China yan na parang hindi natin malapitan yung Ayungin.
It is quite surprising that they are still disregarding the collision regulation in which they are also a signatory state. It just goes to show that the Chinese have always been ignoring the international law.
In other news, 4 Filipino workers were killed in a fire that hit a factory in Changhua County, Taiwan. According to Taiwanese state media, one of the victims died in a hospital after several resuscitation attempts. The Filipino victims were among the 8 fatalities, while at least 14 others were injured. The fire broke out early Tuesday morning in a factory of Lianhua Foods Corporation. Manila Economic and Cultural Office Chairman Silvestre Bello III told Frontline sa umaga that they are now processing the documents to bring home the remains of the victims. Bello also vowed to provide medical and financial assistance to the victims and their families.
From MECO po, meron financial assistance but more on OWA. Kasi mga OWA members yan. So, meron silang death benefit na 200,000 manggagaling sa OWA at meron din silang 20,000 na burial benefits. But more important than that, yung ating mga kababayan na namatay dahil sunog na ito, kung meron silang anak, they will be entitled to free education under the OWA program.
Time for a quick break, but One News Now will be back with more stories after that. Stay with us. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. More Filipino evacuees have safely crossed the border of Egypt or safely crossed the border into Egypt, with over 200 individuals who fled from battle-scarred Sudan. They were met by Philippine Ambassador Ezedin Tago after crossing the border of Argene by land. They joined at least 50 Filipino evacuees who earlier arrived in Egypt. So far, a total of 340 Filipino evacuees have safely arrived on Egyptian soil, but official numbers may vary due to voluntary repatriation. Let's now take a quick look at today's other top stories. President Bongbong Marcos has signed an executive order creating a Water Resources Management Office. This office will be responsible for integration and harmonization of government efforts to ensure availability of water resources in and around the country. Pablo Luis Ascona has been appointed as the acting administrator and chief executive officer of the Sugar Regulatory Administration. He previously represented sugar planters in the SRA board. And the Labor Department says there will be no wage hike on Labor Day. Instead, the agency will distribute a 1.8 billion pesos worth of financial aid to qualified beneficiaries. One News Now will be back at 3 p.m. I'm Sean Yao. We are One News.